Hello friends, so today we will be talking about tympanometry, BERA and other investigation that we use for testing the middle ear function. Okay, so let's begin. And this is one of the interesting topic for me in ENT because here you have to apply your knowledge and not just remember things. Okay, so I particularly like such topics. So let us begin. First of all, there are certain defects in the middle ear which do not show any problem in the tympanic membrane. Okay, so we have this general thinking that if there is a problem in the middle ear, then the tympanic the tympanic membrane would be problematic, but it is not so. Okay, so middle ear problem with tympanic membrane normal can be an ossicular chain fixation, okay, or an ossicular chain discontinuity, or it can be serous otitis media. Okay, so basically what happens is you have this tympanic membrane here, then there is malleus incus, and finally the stapes. Okay, so when the sound comes, the tympanic membrane vibrates, then the sound is transmitted to malleus, then the incus, and finally the stapes, after which the fluid inside the scala vestibuli moves. Fine. So if there is some disease like otosclerosis which causes the fixation of this ossicular chain, then the sound transmission would not be proper. Fine, so that will cause deafness. But here, as you can see, the manifestations in the like when you see the tympanic membrane, when you observe the tympanic membrane will seem to be normal. Fine, so the first test that we are going to see here is impedance audiometry. Fine, impedance audiometry. The middle ear condition with normal intact tympanic membrane. So here we have tympanometry and the stapedial reflex. Fine. In the tympanometry, two things would be tested: the compliance or mobility of tympanic membrane and middle ear pressure. Okay, so you have to remember, this is very important. Remember that in tympanometry we test for the compliance or mobility of the tympanic membrane and the middle ear pressure. Now we know that here this is our pinna, this external auditory canal, the tympanic membrane and the middle ear. Here we have the eustachian tube which connects the middle ear with the nasopharynx. Fine, so what happens is whenever you breathe, okay, when you inhale air through your nostrils, the air ventilates the middle ear and your pressure in the middle ear and in the external auditory canal is equals to atmospheric pressure. Fine, so why is this ventilation needed? This ventilation is needed so that the mobility of the ossicular chain is normal. Fine, the mobility of the ossicular chain remains normal, and that is why the ventilation is needed. Fine, so any problem in the middle ear will manifest as what? The middle ear pressure. Suppose the eustachian tube gets blocked here, then ventilation will not occur. Okay, so here all the air which is present in the middle ear will get absorbed. Fine, so the middle ear pressure will become negative. Fine, so whenever you measure the middle ear pressure by tympanometry, you can actually get an idea about the function of the eustachian tube. I hope I'm making these things clear. Okay, fine. So let's move. Fine. So we will make a table here so that you can get an idea regarding what are the conditions and what all problems you can have. So I will suggest that you also make this table. Fine. Now here we will be writing compliance and the middle ear pressure. Fine. So now first condition is a normal ear. Normal ear. Compliance would be normal. Middle ear pressure would be normal. Fine. Second is otosclerosis. What is otosclerosis? Otosclerosis is fixation of the ossicular chain. So the mobility would be not proper. Fine. So you saw here compliance and mobility of tympanic membrane reduced. But eustachian tube is normal in the otosclerosis. So middle ear pressure would be normal. Third condition that we are going to see here is ossicular chain discontinuity. Okay, so suppose if suppose that this is continuous, right? But suppose the continuity breaks. Okay, and now you get something like this. Okay, so this is discontinuous ossicles. Fine. So now what will happen? The continuity is broken here, as you can see. Fine. So basically there is no problem in the middle ear pressure. So obviously the middle ear pressure would be normal, but the compliance would be increased. Why the compliance would be increased? Because as you can see here, suppose there is a paper or suppose a cloth, and there is a chain that you have attached to this cloth. Okay, and if you apply pressure to this cloth, then because of the chain here, the mobility of the cloth would be lesser, right? But if you break the chain, right, the chain that is attached to another wall, and you break the chain, fine, so obviously now the cloth would move more, right? The cloth will move more because the connection with the chain was lost. I hope you are understanding. So you have to always remember that compliance in the ossicular discontinuity is increased. Fine. Now the next condition that we are going to study is serous otitis media. Fine. Serous otitis media. Now basically what happens in serous otitis media is there is a eustachian tube block. We will be studying in the next video that I will be making. So eustachian tube will be blocked. So what happens is the fluid gets collected in the middle ear. Fine. So what will happen to the compliance? Because of the fluid, suppose you fill this chamber with some fluid. Fine. So obviously if it is air, then the tympanic membrane can move easily, but because it is fluid now, so obviously it would be harder for the tympanic membrane to move. So compliance will decrease. Yes. And what happens to the middle ear pressure? Negative. Why negative? I told you the air gets absorbed, okay, and the air cannot enter, so obviously the pressure would be negative here and positive outside. Okay, so middle ear pressure is negative and the compliance is decreased. Serous otitis media. Fine. Next is early eustachian tube obstruction. Early eustachian tube obstruction. Okay, so in the early eustachian.
Okay, so the fifth one is the early eustachian tube obstruction. Okay, so what happens in the early eustachian tube obstruction is that the pressure becomes negative because the air gets absorbed, but the fluid in the middle ear is not yet filled. Okay, the fluid in the middle ear is not filled, and that is why the compliance or the mobility of the middle ear would be normal, because obviously you can see this fluid is not there, so there is not any problem with the compliance or mobility. Fine, only the pressure in the middle ear would be negative. Fine, so I hope you understand. Now there is the last curve that is when you don't get any reading, then you get a flat line in the tympanometric graph. Fine, so when the tympanic membrane is perforated or when there is extreme serous otitis media, there are two conditions. Okay, so whenever there is a tympanic membrane perforation, then what happens is okay, so I will show you. This is your ear, this is the middle ear, this is the external auditory canal, and this is the middle ear. Fine, so you insert some tubes here and you change the pressure of the external auditory canal. Okay, so by that you check the mobility of the tympanic membrane. Fine, but suppose if the tympanic membrane is perforated, all the air will already pass and go through the eustachian tube, so any pressure change will not actually make any difference, because you cannot make any pressure change unless and until it is a closed chamber and only one input is there. Okay, if so, I hope I am making any difference. See, I will explain you this. Suppose this is a closed chamber. Okay, and here you are inserting a tube and you are giving some air. So what happens? Because air is there, pressure will increase. Okay, but if I make a hole in this chamber, then what will happen? There would not be any pressure change because it is anyway going to mix with the outer atmospheric pressure, and the pressure will not change. So basically tympanic membrane perforation is not showing any line, and that is getting a flat line in the tympanometry graph. Fine, so now we will actually draw the tympanometry graph, and I suggest you draw with me. Okay, because it will help you remember. You have to remember the graph, and you also have to remember which graph represents which condition. Fine, so let us begin. Number 1, we will see the normal. Fine, so the normal, you know what is normal. Normal compliance, normal middle ear pressure. Let us name it as A. Fine, so this is the normal compliance, and this is middle ear pressure, which is normal. 0 is the normal middle ear pressure. So you see that A is the normal graph. Fine, now let's move on to the second curve. Second is B, autosclerosis. Now you can see here compliance is decreased, the middle ear pressure is normal. So let us see, compliance decreased and middle ear pressure normal. So let's just name this some other. Let's name it as AS, because you can get that it is autosclerosis. Fine, so this is AS, that is autosclerosis. Now you will draw it on your own. Fine, so just see that middle ear pressure is normal and compliance is decreased. So the graph would be something like this, AS. Fine, so I hope you got this concept. Fine, let's move on to the next graph, that is ossicular chain discontinuity, and let us name as D for discontinuity. Okay, AD. Fine, so when you see the compliance is increased and the middle ear pressure is normal. So normal middle ear pressure with high side of compliance, high, low, normal. So this is the curve AD. Okay, now let's go to the next curve, that is serous otitis media. Fine, so for serous otitis media, the compliance is decreased and the middle ear pressure is negative. So the middle ear pressure is on the negative side and the compliance is decreased. So the curve that we are going to get, let me just remove all these things so that you get the idea what is going on here. Okay, so compliance is decreased and middle ear pressure is negative. So this is the curve that you are getting. The compliance is basically decreased and the middle ear pressure is negative. Fine, so this is the curve that you get in serous otitis media. Okay, let's just name it B. Okay, so last curve that we are going to see, let us just give it a color purple. Okay, so the last curve is early EP obstruction. So the compliance is on the normal side. Compliance would be normal and the middle ear pressure is negative. So there is a negative middle ear pressure. So the curve that you are going to get is this curve. Okay, so this is the curve C. Okay, so I hope these things are clear to you. Okay, I will clear these things so that all these graphs are pretty much clear to you. Fine, so let us go to the one question. Okay, a young man met with an accident leading to loss of hearing in the right ear. On otoscopy, tympanic membrane was intact. The pure tone audiometry showed AB gap of 55 decibels on the right ear with the normal cochlear reserve. Which of the following is the probable tympanometry finding? Fine, so basically what is happening here, you need to remember that this patient is having AB gap. Okay, now for now just remember that AB gap is seen in conductive hearing loss. Okay, it is seen in conductive hearing loss, just remember that. Okay, that is enough. I will make a separate video for this pure tone audiometry also. This is also one of the tests that we do for testing the function of the ear, but for now you remember that it is for conductive hearing loss. So what happened to this patient met with an accident. He came to your OPD and told you that I have had an accident, so I think that something is wrong with my ear. I cannot hear as much as I used to hear before the accident. Okay, now you observe his tympanic membrane, which seems to be normal. Okay, so you get his tests done, and when you do the pure tone audiometry, you find that there is conductive hearing loss. Okay, so what can be the possibility here? Obviously, because the accident is there, so there can be ossicular chain discontinuity, as you can see in the diagram here. Okay, so when you will do, now you want to confirm your diagnosis, so you will get a tympanometry done. So which type of curve will you get? What did I tell you? Whenever there is a discontinuity of the chain, the tympanic membrane becomes hypermobile, so the mobility compliance has increased, but there is nothing to do with the eustachian tube. So obviously the middle ear pressure will remain normal. So in this patient, the curve that you are going to get is this AB curve. Okay, so the answer that you get, what type of curve you are going to get in tympanogram, is AB type. Fine, so this type of questions come in the exam. Okay, and I told you what in what conditions you get what type of curve. Fine, so this was all about the tympanometry.